He said there are few things that can harm the condition of our heart. We already mentioned few points. The last one was being engaged and spending time on unnecessary things, too much entertainment, like games and things which are not done for serious purpose. Lahw and la'ib. So this is what we discussed yesterday. The next thing is, if someone has desire for money or position, power, this can also harm heart, because you keep thinking about how I can become richer, how I can be powerful, and love for dunya is like a poison. حب الدنيا رأس كل خطيئة. So it affects heart very quickly. Therefore, we should try to avoid. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, حب المال والشرف ينبتان النفاق في القلب. If someone has love for money or sharaf means honor, but here means position. Honor in the eyes of people. Honor in the eyes of Allah is very good. But here means, you want people point at you, and say, this man is very important, he's very special. So, love for money and position grows hypocrisy in the heart. Because then you have to do everything in order to get these things. You have to compromise about your values, you have to flatter people, you have to please people who have money or power. كما ينبت الماء البقل. In the same way that water grows greenery, these things also grow hypocrisy. This is the problem of loving for money and position. Another thing is looking at people who are miserly. Not only to be miserly is bad, even looking at people who are miserly can affect your heart. النظر إلى البخيل يقسي القلب. So look at now what is the condition of bakhil. His heart is very hard, and looking at him affects you. Another thing is unnecessary arguing and quarrel. Al-mira. Mira means you argue for the sake of arguing. And our hadith says, رَحِمَ اللَّهُ امْرَأً تَرَكَ الْمِرَاءَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مُحِقًّا. Even if you are right, don't argue too much. I always say, for example, husband, wife, parents, children, once, twice, maximum 3 times, make your point. If it doesn't go anywhere, leave it. Because it just becomes worse. Maybe after some days, after some weeks, maybe never. Anyway, another time you can try. But don't keep arguing. This makes it worse. It's like a tire of the car which is stuck in ice, snow. The more you accelerate, it goes down and lower and lower. To bring it out would be very difficult. When someone doesn't accept something, then when you repeat, it becomes more difficult to admit. For example, in the first minute, 2-3 minutes, he didn't accept. Now, how after half an hour insisting on his position, he can accept? It's very difficult. So it's better not to let it reach that point. So mira is not good. إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْمِرَاءَ وَالْخُصُومَةِ فإنهما يمرضان القلوب على الإخوان. Don't argue and fight, because these two make heart ill with respect to brothers. So brothers would have then bad attitude towards each other and illness in heart towards each other. Another thing which is very harmful to the heart and stops heart functioning properly is love which is not godly. If you love something, excessive love for something or someone, then you cannot see the truth. If love is for Allah, if love is for some virtues, it's good. But when you love something as an object or a person, without first rationally finding that person qualified for that, after love you cannot see anything. من عشق شيئا أعشى بصره وأمرض قلبه. Amir al-Mu'min says in Nahj al-Balagha, whoever loves something, it would blind his heart and make his heart ill. His eye becomes blind and heart becomes ill. Also, we should try to avoid meeting and sitting with people who are ignorant, or people who just have nothing except money, no akhlaq, no wisdom, just they have money. Sitting with them affects you. You feel, I told you maybe once, my teacher Ayatollah Ahmad Imyanji Rahmatullah Alayh, once he told us in Dars Akhlaq that when he was younger, maybe in his 30s, 40s, he used to go to a house in Karaj, near Karaj, for tabligh, majalis in someone's house. And that person was a rich person, and many people who were there also were rich people. And he said, I didn't know why every time I come back after that tabligh, I feel very bad and I feel unhappy and Then he said, I told myself, perhaps the reason is I see there rich people, and then I am a talaba with simple life. So when I come back home, I am not happy because I have always been with them and seeing what they have, hearing what they discuss. So it makes you unhappy with what you have. Of course, he was a special person. It was his humility that he was saying this. But it has impact. When you meet with people in your level or lower, you feel you are very happy and you have everything. But if you always meet with the people who are higher than you in money or rich, then you think you don't have enough. And even if you want to be grateful, unconsciously, these thoughts go in your mind and heart. Why he has this house, why he has this car, why he has this much money, why so many people work for him, what is the difference between me and him. So these things keep your heart busy and affects your heart. And as I have been repeatedly saying, the main thing is that your energy will be drained. Even if you don't know, unconsciously your heart and mind are busy with thinking about these things. Your energy goes away. Many times on the surface you don't realize why you are sad. I don't know if it has happened to you. Someday you see you are sad. Why? You don't know. The reason is that in your subconscious level there are things going on you don't know unless you dig. So we have to avoid meeting and sitting with the people that have no virtues except money and things like this. But if someone is mu'min, has money, that's different. But it's still better if you are with the people that are not too much higher than you, so that you don't keep comparing yourself with them. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also talked, you should avoid sitting with mawta. Mujalasatul mawta, the dead people. So they asked, Ya Rasulullah, wama mujalasatul mawta? Who are the dead people? Rasulullah said, Mujalasatu kulli dhallin anil iman wa ja'irin anil ahkam. People who have gone astray, people who have no faith, people who don't observe Allah's rules and regulations. These are physically alive, but these are spiritually dead. So people who are sinful, people who are faithless, and it's not because they have not reached the position of faith. They have gone out of it. There are people in the workplaces, especially in these societies. You meet many people who have no faith, but they are not against faith. But a person who used to be a Muslim or a Shia and is not practicing and is against faith is different. Someone who has not been to this, someone who has left this, there are two things. Someone has never come to masjid, never has come to majalis, doesn't have any idea. Okay, maybe he has excuse. But someone who has been to all these things from childhood and then has left all these things and rejects these things, it's not the same. So sitting with people who have gone astray and don't practice can have bad impact on you. Unless you try to rescue them, you try to bring them back, that's a great thing. If you can bring one person back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's great. Laughing too much is also bad for heart. To be happy is good, but to laugh too much. Hadith says, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِيَّاكَ وَكَثْرَةَ الضِّحْكِ فَإِنَّهُ يُمِيتُ الْقَلْبِ. Be careful not to laugh too much, because it can kill the heart. Laughing too much, your seriousness